once you have this repertoire, here's 3 different types of eyes I can make.
Yeah.
Here's 4
Oh,
different types of hair I can make.
you got it.
And then the number of characters you can draw
That's true.
becomes a huge number.
Hi, I've got a question for you. How many people here would say they can draw? Well, I think we've got about 1 or 2% of the hands going up. And it's interesting, isn't it? It's a little bit like people think of spelling or singing. They think, well, you can either do it or you can't. But I think you can.
I think that's something people often think, like, I can't do math or I can't write.
And you actually have to show them that they can.
Because when people say they can't draw, I think it's more to do with beliefs rather than talent and ability. So I think when you say you can't draw, that's just an illusion. And today I'd like to prove that to you. Now when I say draw, I'm not saying we're all going to draw like Michelangelo. We're not
For
going
me
to
to
be
draw
painting the Sistine
a
Chapel
jaguar and a
ceiling. But would you
cheetah
be happy if, by
on
the
a
end of this session,
chalkboard or with
you
a
could draw
dry
a
erase marker or even with the
like this?
computer, it's easier for me just to look it up and have a slideshow ready to go for the kids.
Well, actually, there's only 2 things you need to do to be able to achieve this. 1 is have an open mind. Are you up for that? Yes. And 2, just be prepared to have a go. So grab a pen and a piece of paper.
As a biology teacher, I thought it was incredibly important to be able to draw. And in chemistry, you have to be able to be a good writer on paper, on a chalkboard, so that people can read it.
Okay.
Well, and sometimes you
So
do
here's how it's going to
diagrams,
work.
but how well you
I'll show
draw
you
isn't
the
as
first
important
cartoon
as
we're
go ahead
going
and
to do.
label it.
So just
You know.
watch
You got
to
it.
begin with.
And that is
Just
an
watch it.
extremely good point. Remember comic books back in the day? They said if you can draw this guy,
Yeah.
and I don't remember his name, like Dudley or
I'd like you to draw
something,
along
you
with
know.
me. So I'll draw the first line, you draw, and when you've done that, look up, and I know you're ready for the next line. Okay.
So if you have
with
kids in a
notes.
classroom and you just say, "Hey, we're gonna do this," and you break it down separately, right?
They're like 66.
So we're gonna have blah 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 this lines. We're gonna draw 66 twice.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna make forward-facing C's, and we're gonna make backward-facing C's. So we're gonna put lines in. You see what I'm
What'd be
saying?
interesting is if you did that like on an iPad in Notability, then after they've done everything separate, they could like circle it and drag it over and then make the
Oh
put it together.
wow!
You know what I mean?
See, now how cool would that look,
Next,
right?
the left of the mouth.
So not only are the kids learning technology, they're actually learning to draw on
Under the ear.
something that's probably
Drop a line like
way more relevant than this guy on chart paper. I mean, obviously he's
And he's drawing it,
making
like,
a point
sideways,
very
too.
well. And like right now, you and I might say he's a good drawer.
So, it looks like you've just learned to draw one cartoon, but you've actually learned more than that. You've learned a sequence that would enable you to draw hundreds and thousands of different cartoons, because we're just going to do little variations on that sequence. Have a go at this. Draw along with me.
Yeah. Realistically, there we go. Like the cartoon character.
Little V shape.
And
I
it's
mean-
all, so much of it is confidence as well.
Line to the
Yeah.
right, line to the right. So we've got another character. Let's call her Thelma. So we've got Spike and Thelma. Let's try another one.
There is a confidence thing.
One more go. Here we
What I also love is actually he's got a great personality, you can tell, and
A nose.
his humor, English humor always helps. Any situation.
It's got that extra U.
Your automatic your IQ already goes up 25 by being English.
Next, the mouth's slightly different. Let's put a little V shape like that. Triangle. And a little line across, and we'll just colour this little bit in.
This is why in a lot of my teachings, and this is what a lot of kids didn't get, I wanted to start out with the obscure, the beginning activity that eventually is going to make sense as to why you did it and drive home the objective or the lesson or the concept, the unit, the chapter.
It's like you're talking about the whole journey and they just want the end result.
They, yeah, just tell me the answer.
Yeah.
It's like, no, we're you know,
That's one of the things I love about teaching engineering now,
yeah,
is because it's like there's no right answer. There's better answers and there's worse answers
sure,
in design. But
that's it.
There we go.
and even like looking at this,
So you've done 4 cartoons.
once you have this repertoire, here's 3 different types of eyes I can make.
Take a rest.
Yeah.
Here's
Oh.
4 different types of hair I can make.
You got it.
And then the number of characters you can draw
That's true.
becomes a huge number.
Or you could experiment with perhaps someone who's, just draw a straight line. Someone looking a bit fed up, or perhaps you could do anything you like, really. Just try things out. Look at this. Little squiggle. There we are. So all sorts of
So then you could take it into your geometry class, and now this is like so fun. You know what? I really like geometry, Mom and Dad, because we're drawing with shapes.
All part of a charity called Talk. And this Talk charity is a wonderful charity that helps people who've suffered strokes but have a particular condition known as aphasia. You might have heard of aphasia, sometimes called dysphasia.
Oh, this is interesting. He's talking about some people he taught to draw that have aphasia.
They might have trouble reading, writing, speaking, or understanding. And it can be quite an isolating condition. It can be very,
And once again, that's not the best boat, but it's good enough to communicate what you're trying to get across.
Exactly. And
I prepared all this stuff.
it didn't take long.
This session for a couple of hours, tea break in the middle, and I got more apprehensive. But actually, I needn't have worried, because I'm going to show you now the work that they did.
This is huge.
This is a gentleman called David, and he's holding up his picture, and you can tell it was the picture of Spike, can't you? In fact, I think he's drawn Spike even better there. But what I didn't realize until even after the session was that a number of the people in this session, including David, were drawing with their wrong hand. David's stroke meant that it affected the right side of his body, and he drew with his left hand, as many did. Nobody mentioned it to me. Nobody complained.
So if somebody who thinks they can't draw,
And it was an
and then they're drawing with the other
inspirational
hand.
session for me.
Yeah. Wow. Even after major trauma to the brain.
Great. So I thought that was a lovely example.
I want you to think in a classroom nowadays,
Here we go.
you know,
Grab your pens.
what a great way to introduce certain subjects throughout the year. Where, and this is what I'm saying, we have the general concept. So
Start with
biomes.
black spike.
We're going to draw here. Here's our mountains.
Yeah.
Here's our eagle. It's like, it's like the whatever bee, right? And there, and then here's the smaller birds. Here's the pine tree. Triangle. You know what I mean? Different sizes, different widths of and then
There you go.
you're like, there you go, kids. Okay, great. Now let's guess what we're gonna draw now. We're gonna put a sun way up here, and we're gonna do this.
You know what that makes me think about? You remember the Bob Ross show?
Yeah.
And it's like, how many people do you think like actually went and bought paints and painted along with them? Or how many people do you think were just watching?
And if we did challenge those beliefs and think differently about them, apart from drawing, what else would be possible for us all? Thank you very much.
So what do you think of that main point? The idea is, breaking things down, giving people confidence that they can actually do
Hey,
something.
and I think in education, that's what you need like daily. It's with everything.
Maybe kids will have more confidence growing up because they use technology at such an early age that they're not as, afraid to learn how to code or do something later.
Giving kids confidence, number one.
Breaking things down to smaller steps. And then I think the other part that goes to that is the growth mindset. Like, I can't draw yet, or I can draw people, but I can't draw animals.
Right.
And adding that yet at the end
Sure.
is hugely powerful if you have confidence.
Right.
And I'm amazed to hear stories from some students, and maybe I did it to students too and just didn't realize it, where they had a student that said, "Oh, you're just not good at that. You should try something else."
Yeah.
Rather than helping them along the way.
They look at competition. And if you think about it, somebody's maybe always a better writer, somebody's always a better drawer, you know, and unfortunately sometimes, and at lower ages where it's easy to get your feelings hurt, that you can't draw. And I always knew.
Just because you can't draw as well as somebody, you can't draw as well. And how do we make learning itself in that journey?
Right.
I had a student in a test the other day, working on a question. I just saw him go because he knew he got the right answer.
Right.
You know, and it's like getting a problem right can be fun.
It's very fun. And it's very rewarding, right? At the higher levels, how do you break it down? When you're like, it was reviewed, Calculus 1 and Calculus 2 were reviewed in a 50-minute period. And I'm sitting there going, wait a minute, okay, I'm going to need to know all that for this next coming class because that's the sequence. And then I wish at that point in time, he would have broken it down.
Well, and that's where providing, I think, some resources like videos or links to videos and some of the things that are online.
It's huge.
Like for the math class I have, Wright State made a whole bunch of videos. So I always post those links for students that need an extra practice with somebody going. Of
course.
And a lot of students can watch those at 1.5 speed sometimes too. Where
right.
A little faster.
I know a lot of them can. I'm just saying to myself, how many middle school and high school students are going home and looking at the links, which just kills me.
Well, there's too much homework in high school and middle school.
Yeah.
I mean, kids are already in school 8 hours a day. That's a job. You know, do most people have a job and then do extra work at home? Just teachers.
I know, exactly.
Yeah. So that's why people believe they can't draw, and how to prove they can is just break it down, build confidence. So did you enjoy that video?
Yeah.
Cool.
I love all TED Talks, especially when they're at Hall University.
Well, thanks for joining us, and we'll have Uncle Kyle back some other time.
All right, guys, thanks. Uncle Kyle's hot sauce.